The stock market bubble won't last more than a few months. The economic crash continues. Hi, and welcome to the Financial Argument Channel. I know that I haven't been around in recent months, and I want you to accept my apologies in advance. I've had a tremendously awful time over the last few months. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I lost my wife and child. Still, I need to move on with my life somehow. Even though I wanted to put it all aside and walk away from everything, including the Financial Argument Channel, I realized that isn't the right decision. I know I have a responsibility to those of you who want to hear the truth rather than the fake news spouted by well-paid economists. Your support is playing a huge role in keeping me alive. Thank you so much, everyone. So now I'll be here with up-to-date videos that I'll be posting on a more regular basis. Let's continue where we left off, folks. Yes, unfortunately, I was right again and again in my economic predictions. Recent data and news show that the situation is just getting worse. The economic crash continues and will become more and more devastating by the day. To see what's coming, take a look at this scary chart. U.S. bankruptcy cases jumped to the highest level since 2008. That means we're in a worse spot than the 2008 financial crisis. And we'll see a new record here as the lockdowns are predicted to increase. There will be no winners here, just more unemployed, hungry, and angry people. I have no hope, for I'm sure there will be no recovery. They're beating a dead horse by doing the same things and expecting a different outcome. Or they're doing it on purpose, and that's even worse. Let's take a look at the recipe they've concocted that's supposed to provide a solution. We now know that Biden will take office, and nothing could prevent him from wasting trillions of dollars to be printed for the Green New Deal and Great Reset plans, which I talked about in great detail in my last video. According to the latest statements, Biden and his genius economic team have already announced that they plan on trillions of dollars in aid packages and $2,000 in direct cash payments to every citizen. They say these will benefit the unemployed, families, and small businesses. You already know that free money can do nothing but make things worse. Meanwhile, the ship is quickly sinking. I'm talking about the fact that the US dollar will decrease in purchasing power as it's been doing for years and will turn into a worthless piece of paper. If you're asking yourself why they would want to do something like this, please watch my previous video to learn more about the useless Great Reset and Green New Deal plans they've come up with. If you're familiar with these, let's continue. The latest numbers on non-farm employee payroll data in the U.S. have been looking progressively worse since March. Most of the damage has been done. There's not much more you can do to make this a country full of unemployed people. I have many friends who've been unemployed for months and frequently receive emails from others who describe the worsening situation. Where are the people who became angry with me when I spoke about the rising of China against the U.S.? We're also in a deep commercial real estate crash. On December 2nd, the National Restaurant Association published their survey results, where they found that more than 17% of restaurants have either permanently shut down or remained closed for extended periods. The executive vice president for public affairs sent a letter to Congress stating what these findings make clear is that more than 500,000 restaurants of every business type, franchise, chain, and independent, are in an economic freefall. And for every month that passes without a solution from Congress, thousands more restaurants will close their doors for good. How many of these establishments do you think will actually recover from this hit on their livelihood? More than 110,000 restaurants and bars across the USA permanently shut down within 200 days of the first restrictions being placed. Maybe this will help put it into perspective for you. The restaurants that closed permanently had an average of 32 employees on their staff. 17% of them employed at least 50. 72% of these restaurant owners say that it's unlikely they will try their hand at the restaurant business again. And these were not new restaurants still trying to break even on profits. They were frequented establishments that had already existed for 16 years on average in their communities. As the economic situation continues to deteriorate, and you can be sure it will, the Fed will not delay in intervening with their usual method. We all know what it is. After all, as I mentioned in the video title, there's not much time left until the stock market bubble eventually bursts. There are a few others like me who anticipate the economic crash playing out in this way. Michael Burry. If you watched the movie The Big Short or read the book, you're already familiar with this name. If you haven't seen the movie, I recommend you watch it. It's based on real-life investor Michael Burry, founder of Scion Asset Management, who predicted the U.S. housing bubble crisis. He's also predicted that Tesla is headed toward the same fate. "Enjoy it while it lasts," he tweeted. In response to the deniers, he replied, "Well, my last Big Short got bigger and bigger and bigger too." On the day of his tweet, Tesla's stock price added $60 billion to its market capitalization, jumping 8% in one day. Burry tweeted that it was equivalent to 1 GM, 2 Hershey's, 3 Etsy's, 4 Domino's, 10 Vornados. In a way, the bursting of the Tesla bubble means that the stock market bubble will burst as well. It's unwise to think that the stock market will not burst when the Tesla bubble bursts. An article that includes more than just commentary and predictions, but a deep analysis of the impending burst of the stock market bubble, came from a more famous and experienced investor last week. This person is an 82-year-old bubble-bursting predictor, Jeremy Grantham, who's been at this since the 1970s. Jeremy Grantham is famous for being especially astute at predicting the bursting of bubbles, and his predictions have become more accurate over time as his research has allowed him to identify which signs indicate a collapse. He's previously detected the bursting of many bubbles and gained profit from them. As an investor, he's predicted the real estate and stock market bubble bursts in Japan and the dot-com bubble in 2000. And of course, he announced the 2008 financial crisis in a statement made by him in September 2007, where he suggested taking measures against it. More recently, Jeremy Grantham made a detailed statement at GMO and explained why the current situation is the last stage of a bubble, citing various examples. He shares his own experience and explains in detail how he detected the impending economic collapse and identified the signs which indicate when a bubble has reached its final stage. He commented that many people are in denial and believe that there is no danger in the stock market crashing. If you tell them the stock market will crash, you look like a criminal in their eyes. Grantham also tells us about the Buffett indicator I mentioned in previous videos and points out that the Buffett indicator is currently at an all-time high. He says today's stock market bubble will burst very soon and even provides the timing for this. I put the link to the article in the video description section. You can read a detailed analysis from there. If Jeremy Grantham's, Michael Burry's, mine, and other truthful economists' predictions turn out to be correct, what will the Fed do? They'll print much more money than they did in March. If you're sufficiently prepared, then don't be afraid. Just hold on to your precious metals. At the end of the day, you can be sure prices will skyrocket, so hold on to limited assets like gold, silver, and maybe Bitcoin. The trillions of dollars printed by the Fed will not be enough to revive the stock market. Since 2020, as the economic crisis brutally hits the real economy, creating millions of unemployed people, 1 in 4 Americans have had to skip meals, and food bank queues reached miles long. The Fed experimented with printing an unprecedented amount of money like never before in history. What has improved? Nothing. Oh, sorry, at least one person has benefited from all this. Let's congratulate him. I'm sorry I failed to mention him. Trillions of dollars printed went into the stock market instead of the American people. The current stock market bubble was further inflated. Please, someone enlighten me as to why, when the economic crash was so painful, Elon Musk increased his wealth by 413%. And somehow this is not considered a stock market bubble? What exactly did the Tesla company produce during this time? Did they invent an invisibility potion I don't know about? Of course, Elon Musk was not the only one who got a piece of the trillion-dollar pie. Bill Gates' wealth increased by 21.8%, Warren Buffett's by 30.8%, Jeff Bezos by 61.4%, and Mark Zuckerberg's by 85.9%. I hope they're enjoying their pieces of the trillion-dollar pie. Look, I'm not playing blame the billionaires. What I'm trying to tell you is that the stock market bubble is inflating to very dangerous levels. We'll see what happens when the bubble inevitably bursts, which will be very soon. Subscribe to the Financial Argument channel, where we analyze and prepare for the events leading up to the stock market's Armageddon moment together. Thanks for watching and for your support.